Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a guide for round 2 of stage 2 of the Manufacturer Series 2022 season, taking place at High Speed Ring with the Group 4 cars. So let's go ahead and take a look at the race details. 14 lap race and fuel tire are ×1. We're only on the racing hard tires. BOP is on, tuning disabled, but there is one mandatory pit stop that you must make, so make sure you pit one time so you don't get a 1 minute penalty after the race ends. And we'll talk a bit more about that in a bit. But anyways, let's go on over towards the lap guide, where I have no idea what a good lap time is because the leaderboard is full of wall riders. But anyways, bring yourself towards the left, just gently turn on in. The turn does get a little tighter, so just be aware of that. Just gently turn in to make sure that you can maintain as much speed as possible. Then brake just before the 50-meter board, so you're braking hard for a short moment and starting to turn in. You're trying to maintain a high line without touching the walls. Get on the throttle as soon as you can, and once again, try to avoid touching the walls. It is possible to bump the wall and get away with it, but you still risk getting a nasty penalty. But anyways, brake before the 50-meter board. You're going to be going for a late apex for the next 2 turns, so brake hard for a short moment and just take your time turning in, trying to go for a late apex, and then brake before the curb on the left starts, or just before it starts. Just a little bit of braking and throttle control, just trying to maintain as much speed as possible, go for a late apex and fully accelerate. Here is the penalty serving zone. Make your way towards the right side of the track, and when the curb on the left end, so just as you're driving over the end of the curb, that's where you start to turn in and try to take a flat out. For some cars, it may not be possible to take a flat out. You may need to do a little courtesy lift so you don't end up in the wall. Same case goes if you're under someone's dirty area, you might need to do a little courtesy lift so you don't hit the walls. But anyways, that is it for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and take a look at the strategies. And for this race, as I mentioned earlier, 14 lap race. We're only on the racing hard tires, fuel and tire ×1, but there is one mandatory pit stop that you must make so you don't get a 1 minute penalty after the race ends. So you can pit as early as the end of lap 1 or as late as the end of lap 13. And I will say this again, you must do 1 pit stop in this race. You might find it surprising at how many people don't read the regulations and then get penalized for it and then get mad because they didn't read the regulations. But if there's one thing to take away from this video, do 1 pit stop. You don't even have to take tires or fuel, just do 1 pit stop. And where is the pit stop? It is just after the final corner on the left side. So bring yourself in all the way to the left, stay in between the yellow lines so you don't get a pit line cutting penalty. No need to refuel, no need to change tires, as the tire and fuel multipliers are very low at a ×1 multiplier. Your pit loss for this race is around 20 seconds, so even after you leave the pit stops, well, first of all, stay in between the yellow lines, but after you leave the pit stop, you're slowly getting yourself back up to speed, so you're still losing time. You can even see that the BMW just passes me as I'm trying to regain my speed. Now, one thing that you also need to think about when it comes to pitting is when is your group pitting, because slipstream is very important here. You're actually getting headwind down the main straight, so slipstream is going to be even stronger in this race. So you need that slipstream, which means that you kind of need to coordinate with your group, or kind of just need to read the mind of your group about when they're going to pit, because the last thing you want to do is end up pitting by yourself. You lose that slipstream and you end up falling behind. The slipstream range between yourself and the next car is 3/4 of a second. And you can use a slipstream for a bit of bump drafting, so you can use it to help your group go a bit faster, to try to break away from those behind you, or to catch up to the next group, or even to set yourself up to go for a pass. But be aware that you can get a little bit of dirty air, especially through the final turn, so we're actually going to be going through that in a bit. So when you're going through the final turn, if you're under stolen slipstream, you might need to do a little courtesy lift to make sure that you don't understeer into the walls and pick up a wall grinding penalty. or wall bumping penalty. So I just want to make that clear. But other than that, not much else to talk about. Make sure you do your one mandatory pit stop. Slipstream is love, slipstream is life. Make use of it and stay under the slipstream at all times. So at the end of this run, this was an 18 minutes and 4-second run. Your run may probably be faster because of all the slipstream shenanigans, but that is going to be all for me. So hopefully this guide helps you out a bit, and if you like this video, you can press the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I do have a memberships program down below if you want to check it out, if you want to further support this channel. But that's all for me. This is Mr. MCA. Have a good race, and I'll see you in the next video.